Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Gell. I am the author of the Book of Leadership, where I've interviewed hundreds of the world's most famous and successful CEOs, business leaders, entrepreneurs, business gurus, business thinkers, and well, just generally cool people, all around the subject of leadership. And I'd like to now share with you, if I can, some of the lessons I think we can learn from the Scottish independence campaign and debate that finished just 2 weeks ago. First of all, as you know, the Scots voted to stay together, and they voted no for independence, which meant that the United Kingdom, after 300 years of being together, is still together, which is, I think, being half Scottish and half English, a great thing. But it came very, very close to Britain losing Scotland, losing one of its most loved kingdoms, and for us all, therefore, starting to break up. And in my opinion, it should never have come that close. So why did it? Well, I think it was because of a lack of leadership from the No campaign. A total lack of inspirational leadership. Let me just elaborate if I can. Number one, if you look at the No campaign's vision, the No campaign's campaign, which was called the Better Together campaign, it was always so negative. And you've got, in leadership, yes, you have to move people. In fact, Daniel Goleman, in my interview with him, says the word motivation shares its root with the word emotion. Both come from the Latin word motere, which means to move. Right? So in leadership, you do have to move. But you don't move people by pushing people. You move them by inspiring people to want to follow you. You see, in life and leadership, the harder you push people, the harder, particularly the Scots, the harder it is that they will push back, which is why the polls became so close. If you look at, for example, Alistair Darling and the TV debates with Alex Salmond was pure passion, pure positive, pure this is why we need to be together, the vision. Alistair Darling was much more about head, much more critical. He was saying things like, if you leave, you'll never get the currency, you'll never get the pound. That's for the rest of the United Kingdom. If you leave, you're never going to come back. If you leave, your health service and your pensions will probably deteriorate. It was so negative. And in leadership, you really do not win by beating people around the head. In fact, Dwight Eisenhower, another quote said, "You do not lead people by hitting people over the head. That's assault, not leadership." So we need to dare to move people by an inspiring vision, to pull people, not to push people. You'll go a lot further. The second lesson that I would really like to share is that leadership really isn't just about appealing to people's heads. It's about appealing to people's hearts as well. And when you bring those two things together, that's when you can really move mountains. You know, if you look at, again, Alistair Darling, he was appealing much more to the head. Alex Salmond was much more about the heart. Alex Salmond was pure enthusiasm. And enthusiasm really brings people together, brings people to life. And it defines charismatic leadership. Mike Harris, who is the CEO, or the founding CEO of Egg PLC and First Direct Bank, he said to me, enrolling other people in your enthusiasm is the essence of charisma in my mind. I'm sure you've seen some very dull people become remarkably inspired when they're really passionate about what they're talking about, because they let their passion come through. And that passion really does move people again. And it appeals to the head and also, very, very importantly, to the heart. So let's really dare to move people by appealing to people's hearts, not just their heads. And the third thing I'd like to say from a leadership perspective is that leadership is all about getting people in the right place and the right roles, where they're congruent with their strengths and not their weaknesses. And I think that Alistair Darling, as the Chancellor of the Exchequer, probably did arguably a very good job as the Chancellor of the Exchequer. As the chairman of the Better Together campaign, no, I don't think he did. If you and I were on the board of Britain PLC right now and we'd hired Alistair Darling, do you think that we made a good hire? Would you say that he was a good guy that we'd put into place? Or do you think, in actual fact, it was a bit of a mistake in hindsight? Well, I would say it was probably a bit of a mistake. He wasn't that good at moving people. Again, leadership is about sales. You have to put people in their jobs, in their roles, where they're naturally strong at. And I don't think Alistair was particularly strong. He's strong at numbers. He's not that strong at convincing people through conviction, passion, and everything else that's needed to move people through some great salesmanship. So, again, In conclusion, I'd just like to say that, yes, the United Kingdoms have not broken up. The kingdoms are not now separate. They are together, thank goodness. And I pray that we'll have another 300 great years together. But again, it should never have come this close. And why did we win? Why did the No campaign win? Or why is Britain together still? I would say it's because of a bit of luck. And something as important as keeping the United Kingdom together we should never rely on just luck. We should rely on inspired leadership. Thank you.